Hey guys, today I'm going to be filming a review on some products from the brand ittse. You may have heard of ittse before. They have collaborated on some products with a couple YouTubers. Sam Sherman made a blush. Michelle from Ready Set Glamour made an eyeshadow quad, and Danny from Coffee Break with Danny also made an eyeshadow quad. Sam Sherman's blush is no longer available, but I do believe that both Michelle and Danny's eyeshadow sets are still available. I will have links down below so you can get those if you are interested. The colors that they chose seem so beautiful, and I'm really sad that Sam's blush is no longer available because it seems like a blush I would absolutely be in love with, and I believe all of them have YouTube videos to go along with their products. If they do, I will have those linked down below as well so you can have more information and see the products in action. So ittse is an online makeup company. I reached out to them and asked if I'd be able to try out some of their products, and they graciously said yes, and they sent me one of their palettes as well as 9 of their shadows, a blush, and a bronzer. So I have been testing out all of these products so I can share them with you guys. I was not required to make this review, but because they were kind enough to send these products to me, I wanted to let you guys know my honest opinions on them. Starting with the palette, this palette retails for $21.99 and it comes in 6 different shades. Mine looks like a really cool denim blue navy shade, but it's actually called a black iris. They have a shade called Anemone, which is a really pretty pink coral, a gold palette called Florentine Gold, a turquoise teal palette called Songbird, a gray palette called Uptown Gray, and a white palette called Crisp White. So for the claims of the palette, basically it says it's made of an easy to clean fabric with gold stitching, and this definitely would be a really easy to clean fabric. So this is what the palette looks like. It is a pretty decent size. It isn't as small as a small Z palette or as large as a large Z palette. I do think it's probably comparable to the baby Z palette you can buy from Sephora if you're trying to figure out what the size of this actually is. And it has the word ittse etched into it. I like that the ittse logo is the same color as the packaging, so it doesn't stand out so big and it isn't obnoxious. So I'm really glad that they chose to make the logo the same shade as the actual palette. And on the inside, this is what your palette looks like. So you do have a mirror, which I think is fantastic. And I still have the little film on mine to keep it from getting messy. So in between your mirror and where your products are is this little clear sheet, and this is here to help keep your mirror clean and not get the powder from your products onto the mirror. But if you're like me, this thing kind of annoying. So the good thing about that is that they already have it perforated, so you can just rip it off if you don't want it. I love that they give you that option. I think that is a great idea, and I wanted to show it to you guys, but after this video I will be removing it because I don't mind if my mirror gets messy. I'll just wipe it off, but I do like that they included that and that they also made it perforated, so it's really easy to take out. You don't have to try to cut it out or anything complicated like that. So I definitely appreciate this. And this is what the palette looks like. So the palette is large enough to fit 9 eyeshadows in 2 cheek colors, which is exactly what ittse decided to send me. But if I didn't put the cheek colors in, I could fit 3 more eyeshadows, and then there'd still be a little bit of room left, but not enough room for another row of eyeshadows. I actually prefer my palettes to have a see-through top so I can see what products I have inside, but if you have a see-through top, you will not have a mirror. So if it's more important for you to have a mirror, this is definitely a great palette, and I think it's a fantastic size. I love that it is magnetic. It is a strong magnet, so you're not going to have to worry about your palette coming open in your bag, but it's not so strong that you're going to have to really yank on it to get it open. But I think the size of this is perfect. I think that having 9 eyeshadows, a bronzer, and a blush is really, really awesome for traveling or for a quick go-to makeup routine. So I really do like the size of this and the way the products lay out. And for the packaging of the palette, this is what the box looks like. It has a really pretty girl over here and a dog, and I just love the way that the packaging is set up. I think it's really cute, and on the back has like a blue nighttime scene. Moving on to eyeshadows, they have so many different shades, but for finishes they have 3. They have Pearl, Sparkle, and Matte, and each of their eyeshadows retail for $7.99. So now to read you the claims. The eyeshadows are highly blendable, long-lasting, crease resistant, and have a soft velvety texture. And for the packaging of the eyeshadows, they only come in pan form. Whether you buy the ittse palette or not, you will need an empty magnetic palette to put these shadows in. And the packaging is really cute. I love the sleeve. They have just as much detail on the little eyeshadow sleeve as they do on the packaging for the palette. So on the front has this really cute girl and her dog, and then on the back is the nighttime city scene. So I just think that is really cute attention to detail. I love the font of the ittse logo. So for the eyeshadows, ittse sent me 9 of them, and 2 of these shades are matte, the lightest shade and the darkest shade, and they actually say matte. On the back of these pans has the shade name, and those 2 say matte, but for the other shades, I'm not sure which ones are pearls and which are sparkles, but in the description box, I will leave all the color descriptions and the finishes for each of these shades. For some of them that have obvious sparkle, like this shade here, I'm thinking this is a sparkle finish, but some of these others, I'm not sure if they're shimmer or sparkle, so I will let you know in the description box. So for the shades I have Bare Canvas, La Lune, Buena Vista, Treasure Island, Save the Chinchilla, Roman Silver, Golden Gate, Sacrebleu, which I think is just the most hilarious, cute name ever, and Film Noir. So before I filmed this review, I tried to test out as many of the shadows as possible. I tested them all except for Sacrebleu and Film Noir. Other than that, I have worn all of the other shades on my eyes. Here are swatches of all of the shades. We have Bare Canvas, La Lune, Buena Vista, Treasure Island, Save the Chinchilla, Roman Silver, Golden Gate, Sacrebleu, and Film Noir. So here are all the swatches of the shadows. The formula of all of these shadows feel the same. They are a really velvety smooth texture, and because of that texture they will kick up a good bit of powder, not a ton, like your palette's not going to be incredibly messy, but you definitely will get quite a bit of kick up. These shadows are all incredibly pigmented and they go onto the eye really smoothly, but because they are that really soft velvety texture, I feel like I definitely do need to apply a cream base underneath of these to make them stick to my eye. I find that if I just wear a primer, these shadows can tend to fade a little bit throughout the day, and this issue, if I can say that, is not unique to ittse. That happens to me with a lot of eyeshadows. I feel like to get the best look possible, I do need to wear a cream shadow underneath to make the color more vibrant and to help it last longer. So for these, I feel like a cream base is definitely necessary to make it last longer. And also, once I do all the finishing touches for my crease and my transition, I will go back in before my liner and take my finger and apply another layer of the shadow to my lid. I do that with every brand of eyeshadow because I really want my lid color to pop and stand out, but I did want to let you all know that I did have a little bit of fading throughout the day when I was not using it with a cream base. I feel like the formula of all these shadows perform the same, so I wanted to talk to you about my feelings on each of these shades. So the first one is Bare Canvas. This is the matte cream shade. This is very similar to my skin tone, and I had to build it up on the swatch to make it show up for you guys, but this is a perfect color for me to use to set my primer. That's how I've been using it, and it works really, really well for that. So if you are fair like me, this is a great shadow to set your primer. If you do have a medium tan skin tone, this would be a really great brow bone highlight that is matte. Next, I have the shade La Lune. I believe this is a pearl finish, and this is a shade that I think is going to look really different depending on your skin tone. That's going to be common for a lot of these shades, but for this one in particular, I think it will be different. So in the packaging, to me, this looks like a gold shade that is a bit more subdued, but in the swatch and on my eye, this definitely looked more like a yellowy green gold. And I didn't like that. It pulled a little too green, but not green enough to be a green eyeshadow. So it isn't a terrible color, but it wasn't what I was expecting. Next shade is Buena Vista. This is a really pretty shimmery, light peachy champagne shade. I think this is a really, really wearable peach color. This is one of my favorite shades. I love wearing this on the lid with more of a warm crease. Next I have Treasure Island, and this is what I'm wearing on my lids today. This is my #1 favorite shade. Buena Vista is #2, this is #1. This is a really pretty bronze shade with some copper undertones to it. Again, a really nice, beautiful, warm, bronzy eye. Perfect for a daytime, smoky, warm, bronzy look. Next we have Say the Chinchilla, which is a really cute name. This is a very pretty shimmery gray color. This is also great for a daytime smoky eye using a more cool tone shadow. Next we have Roman Silver, which is a shimmery charcoal. This is great for a nighttime smoky eye, but what I did is I applied Say the Chinchilla all over my lid, and then I applied some of this just on the outer third of my lid. It looked beautiful. Next I have the shade Golden Gate. I'm pretty sure this one is a sparkle finish. It is a bright orange shade with gold glitter in it, but when I swatch it on my hand and also when I apply it with a blending brush, the glitter particles go away and it basically looks like a matte orange. Believe it or not, I'm wearing this as my crease transition color today. And first I went in with the bronzer to create a nice base, and I took the tiniest amount of this because it's really pigmented on a blending brush and just buffed it into my crease and transition area. It really warmed up the look without being this intense orange, but it looks perfect and I love it. Next we have the shade Sacrebleu, which again, is so freaking hilarious, and this is a bright cobalt blue. It doesn't say it is a matte finish, but this one doesn't look like it has any shimmer at all. This looks matte, and if you can see in the swatch, it is a little bit more sheer than the rest of the eyeshadows. Cobalt blue is incredibly difficult to formulate. Every time I've ever seen a cobalt blue shadow, it is either very sheer or it is patchy. MAC has one, Electric Eel, I believe, that is pretty sheer, and ColourPop just released a shade like this that is really patchy from the shades that I've seen. So yes, this is sheer, but it is not patchy. And I can work with a sheer shadow. I just have to build it up a little bit more, apply a couple more layers, and it's perfect. I would much rather it be a little bit sheer than it be patchy. So for the fact that cobalt blue is really hard to formulate, I think they did a great job with this one. And Film Noir is a really great matte charcoal that almost has some brown tones to it. It swatches so well. I didn't use this one because I never ever wear really dark shadows. I don't use blacks, dark brown, charcoals. I don't use those colors on my eye, but the formula of this is amazing. So if you like using these colors to deepen up your outer V or as a natural liner look, I would recommend it. So I was impressed with the formula of all of these. The only color I didn't like was Lune because it just looked kind of strange on my skin. Are these my favorite shadows of all time? Definitely not. Are they my least favorite shadows of all time? Definitely not. I'm really wanting to try Danny and Michelle's quads because those look like colors I would really enjoy. I really enjoyed this formula. The only negative thing I have to say is that I wish that these shadows didn't fade throughout the day. It isn't terrible, and I did just touch up right before this video, but there definitely is some fading. So that's a little bit of a con, but wearing a cream base underneath really helps. Moving on to the bronzer, they have 3 different shades, 2 pearl finishes and 1 matte finish, and they each retail for $8.99. I have one of the pearl finishes in the shade The Sunset. I think this is the lightest of all of their bronzers. I am wearing this today as a bronzer, a contour, and as a transition crease eyeshadow. This is a great bronzing color for fair skin. I actually layered it up a little bit in my contour to make it deep enough and look defined enough. So this is a great, really natural bronzer for fair skin. It is warm tone, but I don't feel like it looks too orange on my skin. I really enjoy this. I think that the pearl finish doesn't show up as shimmer. Like I said, I even used it to contour. I just think it gives a more natural look. It definitely doesn't look chalky, but it does not look shimmery at all. So for the packaging, it comes in a little sleeve that says complexion. It has a girl and her dog. On the back is a nighttime city scene, and all of the complexion products have a girl in this outfit, and all of the eyeshadows have a girl in this outfit. So I think that's cute that they change the outfits depending on what kind of product it is. So now for the claims of the bronzer, it says ittse bronzers are formulated to be very long lasting, highly blendable, and have a soft velvety texture. Add dimension and contour and show off that bone structure. If you're after a natural looking sun-kissed hue or a dazzling hint of sparkle, ittse is sure to deliver a warm beachy glow all year round. So as I said, I think this is a really great bronzing formula. I wish they had more shades, and I was able to use to contour even though it isn't very cool tone, but this is a great shade for fair skin. I do have other bronzers I prefer over this one for the color. So this isn't an overly pigmented bronzer, but it is buildable, so you can add more product as you like. And lastly, we have the blush. ittse has so many blushes and a ton of peachy pink coral shades, which are my favorite, and seriously, they have so many blushes. I want to order right now. Their blushes are $8.99 and they come in 3 different finishes: pearl, sparkle, and matte, just like their eyeshadows. The shade I have is a Snapdragon, which is a matte finish, and this is a really intense bright pink with a red undertone to it. I actually am wearing this today. Of course, I did blend it out a lot and I applied a very tiny amount of this. This is a crazy pigmented blush, but it blended really nicely. It lasted really well. I really love the blush formula. The bronzer formula was good, but the blush formula I think is amazing. Colors like this can get really patchy on the skin, but I didn't have any issues whatsoever. So here are some swatches of the bronzer in the Sunset and the blush in the Snapdragon. The bronzer, as I said, is a warm tone. I did have to build this up, but the blush was just one swipe. Now I'm going to read you the claims of the ittse blushes. A buildable blush, and it is fade free, velvety texture, and highly blendable. I definitely do agree with these claims. I'm wearing this blush on my cheeks right now, so obviously it is really blendable, and this was one swipe, so it's really pigmented, but it blends out really nicely. You just have to be careful. I use a duo fiber blush brush, which helps me pick up a small amount of color, and then I really did blend it out, but it definitely was buildable, blendable, and it lasted all day long. I've had my makeup on for 11 hours, and my cheek products are looking amazing. So those are my thoughts on all of the ittse products. I am very impressed with them. My favorite products would definitely be the Snapdragon blush. The formula and the color is amazing. And as I said, I did love the Buena Vista and Treasure Island eyeshadows. And Golden Gate was a surprise favorite. I'm wearing it today and I absolutely love it. So I think all of these are really great quality. I think all of these products are great quality. It just depends on the shades that you like. And as I said, the eyeshadows that were created by Danny and Michelle are amazing. And I know you guys would die to have them in your collection. So I will have those products linked down below for you. Thank you so much, ittse, for sending me products to test out. I really appreciate it. And I'm very impressed. The only negative thing I have to say about any of their products is that for the eyeshadows, as I said, they did fade a bit throughout the day. So if you guys have tried any products from ittse, please let me know what you tried, what your thoughts were. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.